There's a long history of hide wildlife viewing at the lodge. This allowed greater development for a more welcoming hide experience. We have had 4 hides in various locations with various success since 2005. An opportunity arose to create easy access while demonstrating good practice in hide construction. The site is about an hour from more than 3/4 of the people in Scotland, particularly in urban areas. There's a chance to strike a balance between the rarity of red squirrels and the opportunity to see more common woodland birds. It's a wild experience, but near great facilities and a staffed visitor centre. If you're deciding whether you need a hide or not, you need to think about if you actually need a building on site or whether you can use other techniques such as promotion of the site on the web or locations, so you don't need an actual structure. One of the key things you have to think about when you're making the decision if you're going to have a wildlife hide or not is the resources that are involved in the hide itself and if the value is going to be worth it, so the building, staffing, all those elements. There's also, from the wildlife side of things, an issue in terms of how the hide's managed, how the feeders are managed. You can have disease problems with squirrels, things like disturbance with black grouse. On the positive side, obviously, if you can bring together a site that's going to attract a lot of people and you've got really valuable wildlife experiences, that's got to outweigh the cost and the resources. It's really important to keep your objectives for what you're trying to achieve in mind throughout the process. So what is it you're actually trying to achieve? Is it tourism? Is it education? Or is it community engagement? The key thing that you want to do is inspire and educate folk on site. It's really essential that you involve the environment team, because basically you want to make sure that when you get a lot of people, or if you can get a lot of people onto site, they've got wildlife to view. Some of the practicalities we considered when designing the hide were, have we got happy wildlife? So have we designed the hide and put it in a location that we're going to have wildlife on site? The visitors, so all the different types of visitors we get, are they going to have an enjoyable experience? The size of groups going to impact on what other people are doing, so will the hide deliver that? And one of the best ways to deliver both of those is by speaking to local experts. So we've got team members here that we can talk to about the recreation users, and then there's the environment team, the conservation team, that get the wildlife side right. For sites that you have got a problem with antisocial behaviour, you need to think about the design of the hide. So the hides that we chose has an open back, which means that it's not enclosed. The other thing you need to think about is the bench locations, how wide they are, so that they're not going to be comfortable for that sort of activity. One of the key things we were looking at with this hide was easy access, and that had an impact on how the foundations went into the site and also the access ramps. That also rolled on to impact on some of the surrounding trees, and we had to do some tree work with that. The wheelchair access point of this hide worked really well, but we'd like to move that to the middle of the hide rather than to one side so that they've got more viewing opportunity. And the other thing is, for young children, the heights of the slots and how they can view the wildlife is also something, so we could have twin slots or vertical slots would be really useful. Another thing that we have thought about doing is using one-way glass and adapting where the actual feeders are within the feeding areas to bring wildlife right to people, so that would be a really nice thing to add. Some additional opportunities you've got now you've got the building on site are, we've got a double skin on the building, and you can use that for bat roosts, so you could put slots in for that, but you have to bear in mind that there will be licensing issues if you're successful with that. How we manage dogs on site is really important as well, because the last thing you want is a dog running around the glade chasing everything away. So putting in posts or maybe some information to get people to manage their dogs. The glade itself, we've looked at how it looks, because we want a wild experience, and we've got pipes that we buried in the ground so that we can put in dead wood with fungus and stuff growing on them. Some of the ways we can add value to people's viewing experience, here at the lodge we've got a staff site, so we've got the opportunity to book out binoculars or telescopes that people can get a better viewing experience. We've got to weigh that up against the cost of possibly having them stolen or vandalised. We've got cameras and monitoring systems on site at the glade here for the squirrel hide, and that links back to the lodge, which actually helps promote the site and draws people down to the hide. It also gives us the opportunity to get live squirrel feeding on the web, which also promotes the site itself. You can get more details for wildlife viewing design guidance from the FC intranet, and that has details of the plans for the lodge or Carockery hides. In summary, the key things to think about are making sure you speak to local experts, so the recreation team and the environment team. You bring together happy people with happy wildlife on your site, and also the hide that you're going to install, you make sure you adapt that so that it fits your location. Being able to deliver really high quality wildlife viewing has been one of the best parts of the project. Often when you see people that have been down to the hide and they've seen a red squirrel, it's a real wow to them that they won't see at home.